Hey guys, how are you? So it is a wonderful and balmy 30 degrees here in North Texas. I'm currently in Frisco, Texas, which is a little bit north of Dallas. And rather than staying in the house, I said, you know what? I feel like some barbecue. So I started a series about a month ago looking at the top barbecue spots in Texas and in the DFW area. What I thought I'd do today is, instead of hitting up the normal spots, the places that we all know, all us barbecue connoisseurs know in the Dallas area, I want to figure out what is the best barbecue value in the Dallas area. So I thought about that and I said, where can I get some good barbecue for not a lot of money? There's not a lot of places, but I do know of one place that I think would fit the bill. So let's get started. Texas is known for its barbecue. There's no question about that. But usually people who are into barbecue these days, or they call it craft barbecue, they'll argue over maybe about 20 or 25 spots that are known for having really good barbecue. I did a review, and I'll post a link here for one that I did of one that's very popular here in Frisco called Hutchins. And in my opinion, Hutchins probably has some of the best barbecue in the state, but it's also pretty pricey. You can go in there and one person, you can have lunch and easily drop between $40 and $50. But my question today was, where can I go if I don't want to spend quite that much, but I don't want to go to Dickey's either, okay? And if you're familiar with Dickey's, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It is not what you would consider to be good Texas barbecue. So, where can I go if I want to get decent barbecue, but I don't want to spend an arm and a leg? Places that came to mind, Buc-ee's is a gas station. Buc-ee's has a brisket bar, and they do pulled pork and things like that, but they're all sandwiches. Now, I will say this, Buc-ee's has pretty decent barbecue if you're looking for just a quick bite, you're on the road, and you want a barbecue sandwich. Very good. Now, I wouldn't say that it's top-notch barbecue. I wouldn't say it stands up with, Texas Monthly's top barbecue restaurants in the state of Texas, nothing like that. But if you just want something quick, right? But what if you just want to sit down and have a full meal, but you want some nice brisket, maybe some links, turkey, ribs, things like that, some sides to go with it. But you don't want to go into a full restaurant. Where can you go? So what we're going to do is we're going to head over to HEB. And HEB is a grocery store. It's one of the biggest grocery stores there is in Texas. In fact, it's based out of Central Texas, out of the San Antonio area. And if you live in the Hill Country, Central Texas, South Texas, you're very, very familiar with HEB. But they didn't start to make inroads into the North Texas area until about 3 years ago, 2-3 years ago. And since then, they've opened up some nice, very big grocery stores that also include a barbecue restaurant in most of them. So we're gonna go and we're gonna have lunch at HEB Barbecue and see, does it stand up to the quality that you would expect out of a barbecue restaurant? And what sort of value does it bring? Is it the top restaurant in Texas for barbecue from a value perspective? Well, we're gonna find out. So this is the restaurant. This is True Texas BBQ by HEB. And as you can see, it's in a grocery store. It's a little past lunchtime, so hopefully they'll have everything that we need. They do run out of stuff pretty quickly, so I'd recommend trying to get here as early in the day as possible. So when you walk into the restaurant, there's a few things you can do. So you can walk up to the front and you can order food that way. Or you can just go to the kiosk and order on the kiosk, which I think I'm gonna do. It's a little bit faster, a little bit easier. Press to start order. You can order for now, order for later. I think I'm gonna order for now. See what I mean? They're out of stock of a lot of different things. So limited time only. There's a glare. I don't know if you guys can see that a little bit better. But they do chicken and different things like that as a special menu item. You can do a plate, okay? So you can do a 1 meat plate, 2 meat plate, 3 meat plate, okay? Or you can order everything sort of a la carte. You can do sandwiches, potatoes, order stuff by the pound, sides, etc. So it does make it very, very easy and convenient. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a 3 meat plate so I can try some things. So I think I'm gonna go with lean brisket. Let's do some sausage and let's do some ribs. I think that's a nice assortment of things I typically like. By the way, guys, this is my first time using this. I usually just walk up to the front, but I wanted to try the kiosk. Let's go with some brisket beans. Their collards are pretty good. We do order those on occasion, but I'm gonna go with the brisket beans and the mac and cheese. I'm just thinking what like most people might want to order. And I'm gonna get something to drink too. All right, and we're gonna add a 20-ounce fountain beverage. Okay, so there we go. We got everything right here. Complete order. Okay, now once you've entered everything in, pay by card, and you can just complete everything right there at the terminal. So while we're waiting on our food, I'm just gonna kind of show you around the restaurant. It's not a really big restaurant, but you know, it's well designed. It looks like a barbecue restaurant, what you would expect to see here in Texas. They've got some TVs up here. Right there, you can watch the game if you want and come in. As you can see, somebody went shopping and before heading home, they decided to pick up some barbecue. And we do that a lot, but we just don't eat here. They've got a full bar here with all the condiments, teas, all the different teas that you would expect to see, even more than you might see in a regular barbecue restaurant, which is really, really nice. And fountain drinks. So this is the front of the checkout where there's another couple kiosks up there. And you could also place an order with a person if you need to. So you don't have to use the kiosk. How's it going? And there's a good kind of shot at their menu. It's, as I said, pretty extensive and quite a bit. You can pick up some other bottled drinks right here, sides, desserts, and things like that. And of course, in the back, you've got the kitchen and the drive-through area. So I have the belief that you can't have barbecue without also having Dr. Pepper. So one of my New Year's resolutions was to cut back on sweets, as my mother-in-law will attest. But like I said, barbecue without Dr. Pepper or sweet tea is not the same. So today, I'm more cheap. But Mom, I'm not gonna do the sweet cobbler this time. So there you go. So this is what I got for a little bit more than $30, including the drink. 3 ribs, some brisket, full link of sausage, some beans, and mac and cheese, and of course we've got onions and pickles. Would not be complete without that. Oh, and what I did not forget is the white bread. Not wheat bread, y'all. White bread you gotta have with barbecue, Texas. So let's dig in and see how it is. I'll be honest with you, this is the first time that I've ever had a full plate from here. Usually we get sides that we're gonna do with barbecue I do at home, or we might get like a pound of brisket, some ribs, and then we do sides with it that we make ourselves. But I've never had just a barbecue plate like you would get at a regular barbecue restaurant here at HEB. So the one thing I will say, just initially off the bat, things look good. The brisket looks a little dry. You know, that I'm not that impressed with, to be honest with you. It has a nice bark on it. You can see that. But see that bark there? It's not bad. It's tender, pulls apart, but It is a little bit on the dry side. Let's check out the sausage. I got some sausage as well. Not crazy about how they sliced it. They sliced it on the diagonal, you know, in a long piece like that. Not real crazy. I kind of like mine cut into smaller pieces, but it's all about how it tastes, right? Not really about, you know, what it looks like and how it's been cut. And initially, again, we're just doing some observations here. Ribs, nice and sticky. Okay, I've got, you can tell they're very tender and they're pretty moist as well. So those look like they might be a hit. I've had their ribs before and they're generally pretty good. But it's real hard to mess up ribs if you do them right. So I've got two different types of sauces, right? I've got the spicy sauce and I've got the sweet sauce. I'm gonna try them both. I'm just gonna see how they both are. Normally, I tend to be more of a sweet barbecue person. Connoisseurs are probably laughing at me saying that if it's good barbecue, it probably doesn't even need sauce, which is probably true. But I like barbecue sauce. I'm from New York, so with roots in Texas. My mom's from Texas, so I grew up on some of the best barbecue in South Dallas. Meshach's and Carter's. Y'all know about that? Hit it up in the comments. I'd love to see, you know, if any of y'all have been to any of those places. This is before barbecue became a thing, when they used to put everything in wax paper and foil, and that was it. But let's go ahead and try this brisket first. Again, it looks a bit dry. I'm gonna try this sweet sauce first. It has a decent taste. Let me try it without the sauce. It's just dry. Now, in all fairness, I did get the lean cut rather than the moist cut because I've been trying to cut down on my fat intake a little bit. But it's not bad. Let me try this other sauce. Our spicy sauce is good too. I do recommend both of their sauces. I got to hit up the Dr. Pepper here real quick. Because, again, I feel like there's only two things. Some of y'all would probably say Coke too, but I would probably say just Dr. Pepper or sweet tea. Although I do like lemonade, that's like my favorite. Has a nice bite to it. You know, for a fountain soda, it's pretty good. So keep that in mind. Fountain soda and the HEB in the barbecue spot. So let's give this the sausage a try. Well, it's nothing special. It's okay. But again, for the value, that's what this video is all about. Is can I come to HEB and get a nice lunch for a good value? And I'd say yes. Okay, it's not horrible. I've had much worse, trust me. But it's decent. Is it Hutchins barbecue good? No. But again, if Dickey's or HEB are my options, I'm definitely gonna do this. I mean, this is much, much better. Ribs, I'm not gonna put any sauce on the ribs. Just gonna try it as is. That's actually pretty good. It's got a little bite to it. Tender. But still firm enough where it's not falling apart on you. So that's actually pretty good. All right, so let's rate the meat. Okay, so let's do a 1 out of 10 rating. The brisket today, I'd say a 6. It tastes good, it's just dry. So I think it was cooked probably a little bit too long. It has a nice bark on it, but I don't see a really big smoke ring on it. If you notice that, there's not a big smoke ring, which tells me that probably an electric smoker. They don't use a lot of wood with it. But again, it's tasty, it tastes good. Sausage, I'd probably say a 7 out of 10. It's acceptable, but again, it's not the most flavorful piece of sausage that I've ever had in my life. But is it acceptable? Yes. And the rib, I'd say the rib 8.5 out of 10. It's very good. I've been to Hutchins and some of the others that have, like Cadillac, their beef ribs are 10 out of 10. You can't beat it. And their pork ribs are probably 9.5 out of 10. Hutchins, they're probably 9 out of 10. Very good. But again, for the convenience of being here and for the cost, this is good. It's very good. So that's my rating on the meats. Let's get to the sides next. Cowboy beans. They're good. They're really good, in fact. I'd say 9 out of 10. It's got pieces of brisket in it. Very flavorful, has a little bit of a bite, but not too spicy. So I would order those again. It's really the first time I've had those. We've ordered sides. My wife loves the collard greens, but I've never had the cowboy beans here. All right. Next thing, mac and cheese. It looks pretty rich. I'm actually impressed with how it looks. Cheat code, I've had this before and we were very happy with it, but you know, I want you guys to get my reaction. Now, my wife's mac and cheese, not Grandma Jackie's mac and cheese. But is it good? Is it acceptable to be able to just have a nice lunch and not kill the bank? Yes. Very, very good. I think that this was a really good value for what I got. I was a little disappointed with the brisket, but in all honesty, the brisket's touch and go. I've had the brisket before where it has been excellent, and then I've had it before where it was been terrible. That was kind of in the middle. It had good flavor, but it was a bit dry. I think brisket's hard to do. As I'm walking out here, I'll turn this around. They do use wood, but there's not a lot of wood here, so my guess is that they use a combination of electric and wood for smoke, as opposed to doing everything with wood. When you go to barbecue places that do it right, they may use a little bit of charcoal and wood in an offset with no electric. They use a lot of wood. They go through a lot of it. This doesn't look like enough wood to be able to power just a complete wood smoker. Plus you would see the smoke billowing everywhere. You don't see any smoke, so my guess is that this is an electric smoker. A little bit harder to get a moist brisket that way. If I were to rank this, I would probably give it a good 7.5 out of 10 overall as a barbecue restaurant. With the craft restaurants being anywhere between 8 and 10, just depending on where you go. When I'm thinking of barbecue, I'm not thinking about Dickey's or Spring Creek. I hate to say it, guys, but those are 3, 4, 5 out of 10 experiences, which are pretty bad. But the $30 is what I paid for a 3-meat plate. It came quite a lot. I have a whole to-go deal here. I mean, I brought home a rib, a slice of brisket, and a whole piece of sausage that I didn't eat. And I ate about half of my sides. So I've got dinner tonight or lunch tomorrow. So I'd say it's a good value. I would definitely say that. So kudos to HEB, you did a good job. If you like this video, leave some comments below and tell me about what you thought of this experience. Is this somewhere you would definitely come for a barbecue? Have you been to HEB before? And what do you think? So I look forward to reading that. So until next time, I'll catch you on the next one.